Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amy. I'm a first time mum to a little boy called Brodie. So this video is going to be all about returning to work after maternity leave. Now I don't know about anyone else, but I absolutely dreaded returning to work after maternity leave. I had full 13 months off in the end and I did not want to go back, but I had to because we was buying another house and moving and we had to get a mortgage and all that jazz, so I had to go back. And I went back part-time. There's no way in hell I could have gone back full-time. I've been back at work now for around 6-7 months and I can fully say I am in routine. I'm happy with it. Don't get me wrong, I would rather stay at home, but I'm not unhappy about going to work really anymore. At first I hated it. I cried for like the first 2 weeks. Every time I dropped Brodie off in the morning to his great nans or his nans, I would literally just cry. I hate it. I would be texting Sam saying I don't want to be here, I want to go home. I think it's because I was just so stuck in that routine of being with him every day. He hardly ever left my side, so it was a big shock to me. But I'm now fully in routine. We kind of have it down to a T now. I'm fine with it. I even go to the gym now of an evening on my work days, so it's not all that bad. My tip number one would be to ask your work about flexible hours and flexible working. I personally do Monday to Wednesdays 8 until 4. My hours are flexible at my workplace though, just because I work somewhere who embraces flexible working. If you don't ask, you don't get. And I personally do Monday to Wednesdays because that's just the days that work out best for childcare for us. And I feel like I have Thursdays and Fridays off. It just falls in nicely with taking him swim lessons on Thursdays and toddler group on Fridays. So that is just our personal routine. But some people I work with actually do Wednesday to Friday because that works better for them. Some people work Tuesday to Thursday. So whatever you feel is going to work for you, definitely inquire about it before you return to work. Make sure you book in a meeting with your manager or HR and talk about flexible working and see what your options are, because like I said, if you don't ask, you do not get. I personally find doing 8 till 4, yes, it can be a bit hectic leaving in the morning sometimes, but Brodie is an early riser anyway, so we can be up between 5 and 6 in the morning, and we leave about 6:45, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get to work for 8 o'clock. And by doing that, I can leave at 4 and I get to spend more time with him in the evening, so I'm not rushing home to get him into bed. I actually get to like enjoy it and actually do his bedtime routine properly. So yeah, that's why I do 8 till 4. My tip number 2 would be to have settling in days and to do a dry run. I didn't do a dry run when I returned to work and I really feel like this would have helped me. Because I didn't do a dry run, it was a big shock to me because I'd never done it before. I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't prepare myself for it, and that's why I was so upset, because I was getting up early, and the day I actually went to work, Brodie slept in till gone 7 o'clock and I had to wake him up, and that's when it started, because I was like, I want to wake him up now, I don't want to go. Typical. But yeah, definitely do a dry run of what your routine in the morning would be, even if it's just the morning bit, not even like all day. Just do a trial run of getting up, getting dressed, getting everything ready out the house, all that jazz. Get out, and if you can leave them with someone, if you haven't left them before, do try and leave them with someone, even if it's for a couple of hours. This really will help. It won't be such a big shock when you do return to work. So my tip number 3 is be organised. Yes, everyone says be organised, it's so cliche, but honest to God, it works. Every single Sunday night, I lay out Brodie's outfits for the week. So I'll lay out his outfit for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, complete with socks, shoes. I just leave it in a pile on top of his chest of drawers in his room, just so I can grab it the night before to put in his bag. That's another thing. Every single night I prepare his bag for the next day, so I'll put in his clothes, make sure he's stocked with nappies, his water bottle and anything else he might need, a toy or anything that he wants to take with him. But that's generally all I pack in his bag the night before, is his clothes, his nappies and his water bottle. And that leads on to what I do in the mornings. Every morning before we leave, I'll put on his bed ready for when we get home, a fresh pair of PJs, a fresh vest and any creams he needs, a nappy, anything that he needs for his bedtime routine. I lay out on top of his bed so it's ready for when we get in. Also, when we return home in the evening, while his bath is running upstairs, I'll quickly make up his bedtime milk. This is something that's slowly trailing off now. He doesn't really have milk before bed. It's very hit and miss. But for the last 6 months, this is what I've been doing. While his bath is running, I'll make up his bottle. So once we go upstairs, we're upstairs and there's no flapping around up and down the stairs grabbing milk and stuff like that. Tip number 4 would be to speak to colleagues or friends who have actually returned to work after maternity leave. Now this really does help. I spoke to a few women who I work with and they offered me support and they told me it was okay, that I was actually going to enjoy being back at work eventually, which I now do. I actually enjoyed my time over those 3 days where I can actually eat my lunch in peace. I do miss Brodie, don't get me wrong, but it is very nice being back at work. And I feel like I couldn't have got to that place without the support of other people who have been through it. So yeah, definitely speak to colleagues, definitely speak to friends, see what hours they do, see how part-time and flexible working works for them, ask them for some tips like what I'm giving now. A few tips I have actually got from people who have previously returned to work after maternity leave, who I've spoken to. Definitely reach out for support. The more support around you returning to work, if you are dreading it does help. It was a lifesaver to me, so please do it. And by speaking to other people, you feel like you are not alone in how you feel. I felt like that's how I felt, because most people who I spoke to was like, you're gonna love being back at work. I bet you can't wait to go back at work to get a break. And I felt the complete opposite. I did not want a break. I didn't want to leave my little boy. So yeah, just talk to people and you will find you are not alone in dreading going back to work. My tip number 5 is to just relax over the whole situation. I feel like I really caused myself a lot of stress by just stressing and worrying too much over it, and I didn't need to stress and worry that much. It's absolutely fine. Like I said, now I'm completely fine with the situation. I've got to go work, so it had to be done. And I feel like the more calm you are about the situation, the more your baby and toddler will adapt to you leaving them and to actually getting into a new routine. It really will help, because if you're stressed out, they're going to sense that you're stressed out about the situation and they're not going to enjoy it, and it's just going to stress everyone out. So just relax. You just need to think, one day you're going to actually drop them off at school for 5 days a week, all day. So it's going to happen one day. So I really feel like you just need to get used to the situation. It's okay to worry, but just try not to stress yourself out over it. So that is my top 5 tips for returning back to work after maternity leave. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some helpful tips and will take them on board. If you do want to stick around, please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the red button below. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!
Be alright, yeah, I know we'll be alright. We are cruising in on heaven, and I know we'll be alright. Be alright.